Happy St. Patty's Day, says Dawson.
St. Patty's Day outfit, yeah. So
highlighting the babies in chiropractic today. What are we talking about?
Yeah, ear infections and chiropractic, and I know we both have pretty decent experience, taking care of kiddos with ear infections, and the reason behind that is there's nerves that specifically control the pharyngotympanic tube, so the tube that goes from the inner ear to the back of the throat. And just like skeletal muscle, when those nerves are disturbed, the skeletal muscle will contract and become tight, and the muscle that lines those tubes that go from the inner ear to the back of the throat also contracts and becomes tight and closes that tube up, and then you have problems with the pressure in the inner ear there. And a lot of times infants, when they get, or even kids, when they get an ear infection, it's a result of a viral infection rather than a bacterial one. And what is unfortunate is that unlike when you go in with like a sore throat, they'll swab your throat and test it for the presence of bacteria before they give you an antibiotic. When it comes to ear infections, they look, and if it's inflamed, and if maybe there's fluid in there or whatever, they'll give you an antibiotic without actually testing to see if it's bacterial in nature, which is one of the main reasons why we see a lot of resistant bacteria to antibiotics in the hospital setting, which has been known since the 90s that 90% of ear infections are actually viral and not bacterial. And then I know a lot of you that have had kids that have had ear infections might be thinking, okay, well, they gave my kid an antibiotic and the child became immediately better. Mm-hmm. And the reason behind that is there's an anti-inflammatory effect that happens quite soon as that person starts taking that antibiotic. It's not actually killing any bacteria, it's just that inflammation is being decreased and that tube is opening up, so that pressure is going down in that inner ear, so there's an immediate relief of the pain associated with that. So it'd be more accurate if we're going to actually follow the science to give some level of an anti-inflammatory rather than an antibiotic when bacteria is not actually present and causing that ear infection. But as far as chiropractic goes, usually there's a subluxation misalignment in the upper cervical area that controls the nerves that goes to that tube, and once that subluxation is corrected for, that pressure is released, that tube opens up, and there's usually a pretty immediate response to that. So I have a case study that was published in the Journal of Vertebral Subluxation Research that we'll post below here that talks about an 11-year-old that came in with an acute ear infection, did an adjustment, and came in for about 3 different visits there. But after that first one, she was out in the reception area playing with her brother and giving him a hard time. So there's definitely a lot to this chiropractic ear infection connection. And hey, as the twig is bent, so shall the tree grow. So get those kiddos in here and check from the jump.
See you guys.
Yeah.